What's up guys, Kito Chee here, and I'm here to talk about Quantum 2.0 or 3.0 by John Sheets. Basically that is taking a borrowed quarter or coin, having it signed, and being able to bend it right in front of the spectator or in the spectator's hand. This is, in my opinion, the best coin trick that you can do, even if you don't do coin magic a lot. And that goes for me because I'm mostly a card guy. But that said, if I'm gonna do one coin trick, it would have to be Quantum Bender or the signed coin bend. Now, I'm gonna be upfront with you guys. This is gonna be a bit of a controversial video, I'm sure, because I'm here to tell you right now that well, first off, this is somewhat of a review, not really, but it's more of what I think, whether you should spend the $300 for the Quantum Bender. And the thing is, guys, I don't think that a gimmick like that is worth it. You know, I don't think it's worth 300 bucks. I'm only saying this because I'm not the most successful magician. I'm not that rich, you know. When I was a kid, I always had to beg my parents to allow me to spend to learn really good tricks in order for myself to get recognized and, you know, people to have things to remember me by. And this, having a signed coin bend in your repertoire, is really, really powerful in my opinion. So I mean, if you're the type of magician who likes doing metal bending, this is definitely, you gotta have this in your repertoire. So why don't I think this is worth 300 bucks if you are like not super rich? Well, here's the thing. And you might be wondering, how do I do this then? Well, thing is, I'm using a knockoff version. Okay, I'm sorry to admit it to you guys. I use the I hate the name, Power of God version, which is the Chinese knockoff, and you know, I'm not proud of it, but what I do want to say is that no matter what, if I'm using if you or myself using the knockoff version, I still consider it the concept itself. It's still Quantum Bender 2.0, 3.0 by John Sheets. I do not think that using a knockoff version takes away anything from John Sheets, since he created the whole concept. It's just that, you know, it's just saying that, you know, look, we don't have the money for it, we want to support you, but since the product is so expensive, we just have to settle with the knockoff version. You know, that doesn't, okay, for me, that doesn't mean I disrespect John Sheets in any way. You know, if I get richer and more successful one day, probably will switch over to the Quantum Bender, the actual one, for, you know, 300 bucks. But right now, it's just like, you know, when you're starting off as a magician, as a working magician, it's tough. You know, you're trying your best to have routines or tricks in your repertoire that will get you remembered, you know, as opposed to being your lame kid magician or things, or just doing really old tricks. With Quantum Bender, or at least the concept of having a signed coin bend, is really powerful to have in your repertoire for people to remember you by, and they can actually show off to people, etc. That said, you know, magic can be expensive, and, you know, I actually do support people to you know, do their research, look online, learn stuff from YouTube, and if there's any way for them to save money to learn magic, yes, if you're just starting off. Okay, the more you get into magic, yes, I do believe you need to support the creator, but at what degree? You know, depending on the costs, you know, or how, you know, it's it's not something I'm in the best position to speak of because I've never created anything. So I mean, I would probably be in the same position as John Sheets because it's his product. But you know, I'm just saying, like, I still support John Sheets. Anytime I do this trick on my channel, you'll see I always credit John Sheets and everything, you know. So what I'm saying to you guys is, if you are interested in doing this trick, sine coin bend, use Quantum Bender 2.0 or 3.0. If you don't have the money, don't feel too ashamed about using the Power of God knockoff, okay? I'm just saying that for the trick in a nutshell, I think is very powerful, and I do recommend that you do it. That said, if you don't have the money to get the real Quantum Bender, then, you know, I guess you will have to settle for the 2.0, even if it is, as John C says, not as high quality. But personally, I've been using it for like 2 or 3 years. I haven't had any issues with it to this point. Yeah, it might rust a little bit, but that's what having oil-based markers and whatever to touch it up or whatever, okay? So that said, guys, I just think that if you are not the richest magician, having to buy a cheap knockoff version to do this trick because you like the trick so much from the guy who created it or created the concept, I don't think it's a huge insult, okay? Hate me for it, you know, say what you want, but that's just how I see it when you're coming from a poor background, you know, not having a lot of ability to learn or purchase expensive magic, you know. It's just like with Scott Alexander's velocity paintball trick, you know. I would love to have that in my show one day, you know, being able to have a paintball sign, take a paintball gun, load it, shoot the gun, and catch the bullet in my mouth. But right now, $900 is just not worth it in my opinion. So, you know, if I can create something of my own nature of that, you know, it'd be great. I could save myself a lot of money, you know, but that's a totally different subject for another video. So, but in regards to this one, I do think that if you are, if you don't have a lot of money in your budget to spend $300, I say if you want to add something like this of bending a sine coin in your hands or in your fingertips or in the spectator's hand, getting the knockoff version shouldn't be such a big deal. It just means, well, you don't have enough money to get the genuine version of it. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Please, if you can, still like and subscribe and everything. But you know, hope to see you guys in my future videos. Peace out, guys.